What's up, Lions fans? Welcome to Season 1, Episode 8 of the Lions Main Podcast. Football is back. This episode, we finally talk about real football as we patiently wait for our Detroit Lions. Once again, you can find us on Twitter at Lions Main Pod and Instagram at Lions Main Podcast. Tune in and give us a follow.
This is the Lions Main Podcast.
So as the guys just mentioned, football is back. Unfortunately, we didn't get to watch the Detroit Lions get a dub, as we know they're about to this upcoming weekend. But we did get to see Michigan and Michigan State both take home some wins. I got my own personal thoughts on both of those games, but not the best showing from either of them. But that's hearsay. I guess the only game that I was actually really looking forward to was the Georgia versus Clemson game. But I mean, nothing new. Clemson is horrible. What the hell was that? And then the next game that was good was the LSU versus USC. Now that game was actually awesome.
Yeah, did you see the catch from number 10 on USC? I think his name Kyron Hudson. Did you see that catch?
Yeah.
I think it was at the end of the second quarter. Yeah,
it looked like the Ricky Parasol catch from last year. The one where he jumped through two people. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Did he take a shot after it or no? I know Ricky on his, he took a crazy shot.
Yeah.
Many men.
Too soon?
Wish death upon me.
Well, for some of us who have him on our fantasy team, it is too soon. It's a day of grieving, so fuck you.
Well, it's not like they'll need him after Brandon Ayuk signed that contract extension.
Yeah, some people are saying that Ayuk put out the hit.
I did see that, that there's a video circulating on the internet of literally him, he got shot in the chest, and he was literally holding a bloody rag, as he's walking to the ambulance. And I'm like, damn, he walked to the ambulance after getting shot in the chest? I only know one man that can make that kind of appearance after getting shot.
Who is that?
Yeah, it's George Haight.
George Haight.
Taking a shot.
Many men wish death upon me.
Actually, this past weekend, it was George's 28th birthday. And you did walk away after many shots.
That's actually, I like how you tied that together, but absolutely. I walked away, stumbled, but we got there.
Where'd you go, George?
Just hung out here, and then we ended up going to Tin Roof. So, nothing too crazy, but always a good time.
You like Tin Roof. Is that your Detroit Lions watch spot?
Might be.
You get down on the dance floor?
We were on the actual roof this time, but not too much on the dance floor. But they got different vibes there. That's what I like. You like the live band at the downstairs, then they got the club up above. Oh, then it's kind of chill on the third floor, and then there's the roof. And I like the roof the most, but the downstairs is cool too. So, and then they do outdoor too. It's great. It's a great place.
Great game bar.
They got a tin roof down by me in Raleigh. It's it's always the spot.
I think a lot of places have tin roofs. That was a common building material at one point.
I hate you.
That was really fucking stupid. That was stupid. Damn, the one married guy coming with the dad jokes. Damn, she pregnant? Pregnant, Jim?
Are you telling us something, Jim?
Are you telling us something?
Well, I am sterile, so we are adopting.
Ugh.
Well, he broke the news. Well, Lions Main Podcast fans, if you guys want to see George on a Sunday watching Detroit Lions football, pop up the Tin Roof. Give him a shout out. Say what's up. Buy him a shot.
I will take free drinks. That is.
Buy him a shot. Don't give him a shot.
Unless it's a back shot.
Unless it's a back shot.
Amen.
Giggly wiggly. Okay.
Oh.
We're starting hot this episode. All right, but George, before you celebrated your birthday, doing all the fun things, you're watching some football's back. So you're watching some high school football?
I did. I went to Clarkson this weekend, and I went to the bakery downtown, got the cookies, as good as they ever are. Honestly, I didn't remember loving them from back in the day. And Mac and I were talking about that. I was like, there was like kind of dry and like thick. But I guess I was just never having them fresh because I got them like this past Friday. They were fantastic. But yeah, then me and Jordan ended up going to the Clarkston game, and they played Belleville, which, most people wouldn't care about that. But Belleville's usually a good team. But they have the number 1 recruit in the country right now, which is absolutely nuts, actually. Bryce Underwood. He's pretty sick. He seemed he honestly didn't have that great of a game, but like you could tell like at any moment he could just change the game and like just take it to the crib. And he could throw the ball. He did throw a pick, which was interesting. And Clarkson almost won. They fumbled on the final drive. But, it's high school football. But like you take it for granted though, watching that, the receivers, like just somebody catching a ball in a high school game like feels so much more rare. And like it was awesome when they did. It was like we were going ballistic in the stands, but it was awesome. They ended up losing, but
real quick, George, I'm not as in the know with high schoolers as you are.
No, did he?
What position does Bryce Underwood play?
Quarterback.
Do you guys know who he's committed to, or is he even committed at this point?
LSU.
What year? Is he a senior?
Yeah, he's a senior. Brian Kelly, I don't know if you saw that press conference speaking of that game, but we'll see if he's even there next year. But Bryce Underwood might be his saving grace.
One of my good friends from college, he's a diehard LSU fan. This dude hated Brian Kelly when he was at Notre Dame. And so when he got signed as the LSU coach, all he does is curse. Even if they win, he's like, this fat MF-er, blah, 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 this or that. He won a game. We're going to keep him around longer. And then you could imagine the things he texted me after this previous game. He also, one thing about college football while we're here, he also just texted me, like, no shit, 15 minutes before this. I'll read you the exact text. It's pretty random.
What was the score of the USC LSU game? While you look that up.
It was 23-13.
I think it's 27-20. It was 2020.
Yeah, one score.
That sounds right.
So my buddy Colby, shout out to him. He texted me, DJ Ugadeli or whatever is a perfect example of a dude who gets infinite opportunities to prove himself and fails time and time again, but a guy who might not pass the eye test or look good on paper isn't given the time of day. He just texted me randomly. Like, we never even talked about DJ Ugadeli or FSU.
That's some deep thoughts, bro.
Yeah, and that's one thing, honestly, about – I'm just going to speak on him and FSU because everyone last year was saying, they should be in over Georgia. Are you fucking kidding me? Or not Georgia, over Washington or who was it? Alabama, Texas? Yeah, right.
Texas.
They should be in over Texas. Are you fucking kidding me? After they got beat by 80 to Georgia, that's what they come out game one. And what's the score right now of this game? So we're recording this on Monday, September 2nd. And they're 14, down 20. No, they're down 20-6 to Boston College.
What I will say about
powerhouse
is that FSU did go undefeated, and then I believe their star quarterback, guy that was on the Heisman watch, tore his ACL. And I think that I remember back like in early 2000 before they even implemented the playoff, the whole argument, and it was like Utah and Boise State was like they'd go undefeated and that they wouldn't get a shot at the national title. And
right.
The whole like implementation of the playoff like was rooted in to give like
people a chance. Yeah.
Which obviously now expanded to 12 teams.
Yep, 12
playoff.
Teams. Yep.
People will still find a reason to gripe.
Right. All I can say is this. After the gauntlet I'm seeing in the SEC and Big Ten, and everyone knows I'm a Michigan fan. Let's just say we go 9-3 and we make it, and we get the ACC champion. I am screaming laughing. If we get the ACC champion after going through the Big Ten gauntlet and playing Texas, buddy, we're going to the semifinal. We might get clapped.
Let me throw one caveat.
Go ahead.
Let me throw one caveat. Did you see Miami play against Florida on Saturday? Cam Ward.
Cam Ward looks
Heisman.
The same guy, Colby, texted us 6 months ago and said, Cam Ward, put him on Heisman watch. And then during the game, he's like, I'm not going to tell y'all again. Put $1,500 on him right now, Heisman.
Damn, I put $25 on him, but all right, yeah.
Well, he's a LSU fan, and so he was screaming Jaden Daniels, Heisman, like 2 years ago. I was like, all right, buddy, all right. And lo and behold, he knows his football. He talks a lot of shit, but he knows his football.
Damn,
He's right on Cam Ward.
Sound like you're meat riding. How good of friends with this guy in college?
That's my dog, bro. That's my dog, man. That's the
That is
homie.
Drew's MO. You show a little bit of interest in something, he makes it.
Yeah.
Hey, you were still hunting to get me back for that high school.
Right. I'm pissed. I'm hot.
True. You know, Drew, I think you actually need to make up for some of your recent actions. And so I know we're all trying to figure out names for our fantasy team. And no one really wants to hear about our fantasy, but why don't you explain what happened during your fantasy draft?
I don't know what happened, but I got locked out of my account. ESPN straight up didn't let me in, and I told Connor, our commissioner, and he just refused to help me.
I think he was
The draft had
furious.
started. The draft had already started.
No, the draft hadn't started.
It was 2 minutes before. It was like 120 seconds. He was like, "Why the fuck is he messaging people right before?"
I knew about this issue long before, but I literally thought it was because he hadn't activated the league yet. Like, I couldn't access my team. I couldn't even get into my account. I had to email ESPN to first of all, why the hell are we using ESPN still?
What else would we use?
But Sleeper.
Sleeper's great. The dynasty thing, because it's something new. But you got people like George who are just,
Why are you putting fingers at me?
I don't know, because you like the old stuff. You like the old ways.
I don't care for the keeper. I don't care for the keeper. I think it's dumb.
Fair enough.
I love the dynasty. It's because it builds up competitiveness and reasons to stay involved year after year.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you need an excuse or some other reason to play with us, other than the money and the camaraderie, sheesh.
Yeah. So anyway, I had to auto draft, and I'm just drafting. The draft day is the most fun part of the whole fantasy season, and that's what I was more pissed about. That I literally got missed the draft.
George and Jim were fucking hammered at a bar.
Yeah,
with
with
AC/DC playing in the background. Nobody could hear anything.
Drew, if it makes you feel better, your team is projected to beat both George and I's team.
Yeah, everybody knows that projection is BS.
But I will say,
I literally have 5 guys that are pending not playing the entire season. It's Joe Burrow, who's had the weird is injury prone the last couple of years, had a weird season with.
He's gonna be great. Stop, he's gonna be great.
I don't know.
Drew did get a lot of the guys people were worried to grab.
Yeah,
but
100%.
Yeah, but it was CD, and but afterwards he signed it. He's fucking playing, and he's
okay. Everybody knows that you don't win and lose a fantasy league in the first round, though. I'm talking about I
can lose it.
It's I prepare a lot in the off.
Yeah.
I like listening to fantasy podcasts. I was prepared.
You do, yeah.
And I literally was just somehow ESPN.
You didn't prepare that account.
Locked me out. I had to email ESPN. Be yo, why am I locked out of my account?
Why are you getting locked out of all your shit?
I don't know. I think it's because, I always, it will pop up on my screens your password has been, I think it's on my phone, your password.
Expired.
Or it's just, no, it's it's been leaked, or the data's been leaked and your password is vulnerable. Do you want to change it? And I'm I never changed that shit. I have the same password since I was in 10th grade.
Buddy, you have been hacked.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on over there. You're not running a tight ship.
You're a security liability. That's what the thing is.
Take him off the shared drives.
Bitch, I started the shared drives.
But that is true. But
that's the problem.
Speaking of fantasy, we'll wrap it up pretty quickly because nobody wants to hear about our fucking fantasy team. But my team name is currently Crack Georgia Skull Open. But I think that was just a placeholder. So just like you, Jim, I'm trying to figure mine out.
I think I got mine.
Yeah.
I think I got mine. It's just going to be Bill Cosby's All Stars.
Is it PG?
Yeah, it's just Bill Cosby's All Stars.
Oh my gosh.
Is one of your players you?
Well, no, I mean, look, I practice what I preach. I got hopefully a couple of guys accused of something on my team, but I'm not going to disclose that on this podcast.
You got
No,
Deshaun Watson.
no, I couldn't get him. Unfortunately, he got drafted ahead of where I was trying to take him, so can't get his direct protege. But I did what I could.
I feel like Jim's just been on the sidelines this whole pod so far, just not catching any.
George is the one going to high school football games. Nothing more American than that, right? You got a brother or a son on the team, or what's going on over there?
I'm gonna.
Or
Yo,
a
George,
nephew, a cousin?
did you wear old high school gear?
Hell yeah, I did.
Did you wear your varsity jacket? Don't tell me you wore your varsity jacket. I swear.
I did not. It was
Okay,
90
okay,
degrees, bro. It's not
Yeah,
cold
did you
enough
wear
for
your
that
championship
yet.
ring?
Fuck yeah, I
Oh
did.
yeah, you were.
Fuck yeah,
That
I
I
did.
feel like it's fine to wear.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
he's gotta let him know.
That's a field pass.
Yeah, you gotta
that probably
you gotta
is.
Yeah, but I didn't abuse that power. I just sat in the stands. I got plenty of concessions. It was great, honestly. Fun time, and because they almost came back and won, we were going nuts in the stands, and it was
Yeah.
sick.
Was it at Wayne State? Did you want to give a shout out to the Wayne State concessions?
Shout out to the Wayne State concessions. They do they do Parmesan garlic fries too there, and pizza, Andiamo
Ooh.
pizza. Like it was crazy.
Wait, hold up. Did they do beer?
No.
Oh.
Not during a kids game.
A high school game, that'd be crazy.
Who's the weirdo now, Drew?
Yeah, Drew wants to drink around kids. That's true. Okay,
I literally. I mean,
You want to go stand in the jungle too?
get that face paint on, that camo face paint.
I've no idea what the jungle is.
Oh,
Yo, so speaking of kids, I want to know, when did you guys realize? When did you guys have a coherent thought that you were a Lions fan?
These transitions are wild.
Just go into this. When did you?
speaking of little baby boys,
Yo. Speaking of children, when did you know that you were a Lions fan? I've been wanting to know.
I could kick it off. When I was a little baby boy, little innocent guy, when I was about 6 years old, I was gifted a toy Lions uniform, and I didn't take it off for like a full weekend, except for to go to sleep. And then I saw, very similar to, I feel like the conversation we had earlier with the guy that we were talking about with marketing. I saw the Lions on TV, and I was like, shit, that looks cool. That's the team I want to be. So that was then. Little did I know how disappointing it would be for about 20 years, 22 years, but it's gotten better. 20 horrifying years, but I've had worse years.
Your story is a little bit more fairy tale and redeeming than mine. I first knew that I liked football is because I was about 7 years old. I was playing backyard football on the family computer. Shout out to Pablo, the GOAT.
Oh, yeah.
They had Drew Bledsoe in the game. You're gonna hate this. Drew Bledsoe in the game, and he was like always my quarterback. I just fucking throw it to Pablo. Well, I started watching when I was like 7 years old, got into flag football, started watching the Patriots play. And I was like, oh shit, there's no Drew Bledsoe, but there's this Tom Brady guy. And I was obsessed with him when I was like 7 years old. So my first introduction to football was I got a Patriots jersey with the name Watlington on the back and the number 6. Fast forward about 2 years later, we go to Thanksgiving at my grandpa's house. And of course, we're watching the Lions get shit stomped, and I'm wearing my Patriots jersey. It's like they're getting stomped by like the Cowboys or something, and I'm wearing my Patriots jersey, and they're like, "Take that shit off." They literally made me take it off, and I never saw it again at my grandpa's house. And then I was a Lions fan. That's indoctrinated by my family. How about you, George? When did you know that you were a Lions fan? When was it?
When did I know I was a Lions fan?
Yeah, like when did you have that first,
4 years ago in Kenwood.
coherent thought?
No.
It's like one of those thoughts when you saw a woman and you're like, oh, that's good.
Well, I
You saw
always
the Lions,
rooted
you're
for
like-
them growing up, but like my family never watched sports much. Like Super Bowl could have came and went, and you wouldn't even know it was happening unless you went to Kroger leading up to that weekend. But beyond that, I mean, I joined Chiefs, and then like I became aware of football and even how to play it. That's when I met you, Caine, and Jen.
Yeah.
But I had a Roy Williams Jr. jersey, so I just always
That's a dope
rocked
jersey.
that. I always rocked that growing up, and then like when I got pads from Chiefs, I would put it on that, and I'd like run around. It felt awesome, wear that for Halloween. So like those are like my earliest Lions memories, but I mean, I didn't like really start caring about them until college when I started watching with Jimmy and Arvin and Jordan and I mean, we were like almost good. That's like still when Kelvin was around and Stafford. I bought way into it. I was like, I just became obsessed. Like, I don't know. I just got like the story, the hype, and I was like, this team could be awesome. Like, we're so close. And like, I thought we were pretty optimistic during the Caldwell era. I mean, I know you guys were watching those games. They were so close. The fourth quarter comebacks, all that. Stafford was like the stat master then. Like, those are good times.
And Drew?
Similarly, like, I was a fan before I started watching every game, like through childhood. And that probably, I actually, back in kindergarten, I was friends with this dude whose dad was on the line. Dad was Luther Ellis, is Luther Ellis. Like, I remember like going over to this dude's house and being like, wow, this dude, like, he had like a bunch of brothers and sisters and lived in this mansion. And I was like, I want to have this, kind of like, I want to have this life. Like, and when I found out his dad was like on the Lions, but I'd say like, it was honestly 2009, I want to say, or it was Stafford's rookie year, and his play against the Browns to end the season, where he's like tears his rotator cuff, gets up and throws a touchdown. I want to say is like that's when I became addicted, was the Stafford and Calvin era. Like that, Calvin was like my favorite athlete, and I loved the fact that Stafford was just like a gunslinger. Like, and I think it was like the potential, and I loved the Jim Schwartz era. It was like fun. It was like, even though they sucked, it was fun.
I think that era, and specifically that moment you're talking about, is the moment that all of us as Detroit Lions fans fell in love with Matt Stafford. But just because you brought it up, I'll subject you to it. How many women have you showed that video?
Enough.
Enough.
I've made new Lions fans.
I will say that's what I did in college. I started looking up, like, Jordan's like, yeah, you should check out this video and this, and I just started looking stuff up while he was gone, and he showed me that video. I was like, that's absolutely nuts. Like,
yeah, the mic'd up. I'm sure everybody knows the play, right?
Right, and I think a lot of people would enjoy that. Like, even like that's like a good get you into football, like, just because there's a lot of like drama and story to all this that's like going on in these players' lives and stuff like that. Just make I know football's awesome and we all agree on that, but like that kind of stuff is sweet, and I think that's like what other people could relate to, is like seeing somebody overcome those odds and just and for what? Oh fuck. It's good shit.
You got me ready to run through a brick wall, bro.
I think that was honestly like the whole Stafford leaving too, because I wonder how many new fans were like fans of the Lions, like were made fans by Stafford, right? Like that's like really, like I started watching every single game. Like Stafford and Calvin, like they're the ones that made, and like
Golden
Tate made me a fan. Well, yeah, those.
Don't get me started on Golden Tate.
All-time underrated Lion. All-time underrated Lion.
You guys know that's my favorite Lion player of all time.
I do.
Because I'm a shit talker, and that's my guy.
Yeah,
and I think
the best.
one of the things you guys bring up in this lore of Detroit Lions football that we're talking about, Drew, you probably know how this feels, but going away to college, going to a whole different state where they root for different teams, having one of my buddies, he's a Matt Ryan fan back in their like heyday. We're going back and forth, and I'm in like explaining to him, Matt Stafford is just as good, if not better, than Matt Ryan. And they're like, he's on the Lions, they're ass. I'm like, why would he still be in the league if he was ass, bro? I love my Lions to death. He's on the historically one of the worst franchises in all of sports, and he's dogging it. 4,000-yard seasons. You think he's ass? You had Kelvin. All right, name another guy. I can name him, but since you're from Atlanta, name another guy. And they're like, oh, right, exactly.
Didn't he have Julio?
No, it's about Matt Stafford. Sorry, Matt Stafford.
No, I know, but I'm saying like Matt Ryan, the same argument like for any other good quarterback. They always have like a stud receiver.
And I hate that it's an argument against the quarterback, like because you have a stud receiver. The only quarterback that is Patrick Mahomes. Seriously, that's the only guy who doesn't have a stud receiver.
Tom Brady, a lot of years.
TB12 at one point.
Like he had Randy Moss for 1 year, but then he had like a lot.
I'll correct myself.
Like
I'll correct
Wes
myself.
Welkers and Julian Edelman.
I'll correct myself. They had Gronkowski and Travis Kelce. They had two of the best tight ends of all time. So I'll give you that, actually. Correct myself.
Yeah.
So
You don't even need to go out of state for bad Matt Stafford takes. I'm sure George spent some time in college defending Matt Stafford from, weirdly enough, I feel like a lot of boomer dads had the Matt Stat Padford take, or like, he'll never get us anywhere. There was someone, I won't name his name, I think you all know who I'm talking about from our high school, that literally hated the guy like it was his job. Would post about it every time we lost. He would go out there, throw for 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, one pick. The defense would get 6 fucking insane penalties. The coaches would just make a buffoon call, and we'd have one offensive lineman hold, and we'd lose a game. People go, "How can Matt Stafford do this?"
Well,
yeah.
That was I mean, to your point, or a little bit to your point. You guys know, like I went to school in Chicago, so it was like enemy territory, right? A lot of Bears fans, and I think that the similarity is I like defended the Lions so hardcore through that era. Luckily, it was like the Bears weren't very good either, but like that built my like literally having to defend the Lions for like all of the they get so much hate and like frauds. Basically, they're just frauds. You just call us fraudulent.
Go into enemy territory. Go into a different state, enemy territory with the Detroit Lions gear on, and be ready just to defend yourself because for whatever reason, they're going to come at you. I think it's specifically now to our recent success, but they're going to come at you. So
I think that's going to be a big change. I think last year, a lot of the non-Lions fans that were just like NFL fans were really rooting for Detroit through the playoffs. Like, because obviously only so many teams make the playoffs, and then like all those. I feel like the Lions were the most rooted for team last year, and I'm interested to see because we were kind of like the lovable losers.
Yeah,
they were finally succeeding, and everybody loves a comeback story, right, George? But yeah, I wonder if that's going to be the same case this year.
What do you think is going to be the thing that breaks it? Do you think the Lions continuing their success breaks that, or do you think it's us fans? Yes. Or do you think it's us fans starting podcasts and being annoying that makes people hate us even more?
Well, we're a very unlikable group of people, but besides that, the four of us. Besides that, I do feel like the Bills. I feel like any team when they're good, people hate that team and their fans. Like Chiefs and Bills fans, I've heard are like just super nice people, great to hang out with, all that stuff. People act like those teams are the spawn of Satan. You know what I mean? Like and even like Packers fans, I won't lie, despise the team, despise a lot of the internet fans. The Packers fans I've met in real life are always awesome, but yet they have this horrible reputation online because they're winners. So I feel like the Lions fans are actually overall good fans. Of course, you got idiots who are going to talk shit about anything, but that's just any part of any fan base is going to be idiots. But we're never going to be like the Cowboys or the Patriots or the Eagles. Like we're never going to be that level of hated just because we're more akin, I'd say, to Bills as a team and as a fan base than we are to the Cowboys or Eagles.
I think that as sports fans, like collectively, not just Lions fans, but all sports fans, we just love to build like players or teams up just to tear them down. And then when they've been torn down long enough, build them back up again. It's just like, it's that literally that roller coaster. But I hope that this Lions team, especially if they start, if they win a Super Bowl or start like being in the conversation every year, we're like the Warriors, where it's like, I feel like their run, like people still liked them. And it wasn't until it wasn't for 10 years or so that they really started.
Until KD, let's be real.
Yeah, it was KD, and I'll just to caveat off of this. I'll admit I was wrong. I was a Warriors hater from day one, just because I was a LeBron guy and I wanted to see him win. And I realize now that I was wrong, but I was right after every moment that they signed KD. That my hate was validated. But before then, that was greatness. That was greatness before KD.
It was
great.
They won another chip without him.
Yeah.
Right. And after,
you're right. That dude.
Perfect.
COVID.
I love how you compared us to the Warriors. That makes me feel good.
Wrong year, George.
Didn't they
That's
win the bubble one?
That was the Lakers bubble.
That's LeBron.
That's the GOAT. The GOAT.
Yeah, fraud.
That's Lei Beijing.
Yeah,
I actually agree with that. I don't. Yeah.
Mickey Mouse.
Totally.
Donald Duck ass title.
Wait, didn't the Warriors not even make it to the playoffs that year?
Didn't the Warriors not even make it to the playoffs?
The Warriors are done.
The Warriors didn't. I don't know about 2020, but
that's what I was thinking. They either won it or they didn't make it.
They didn't make this last year.
The problem is Clay is as washed up as is humanly possible for someone that used to be an amazing player. Steph Curry, still that guy. Draymond Green, I know some people on this podcast think he was never good. I think he used to be an all-star. I think now he's just a nut kicker and a guy who knocks out light-skinned guys on his team. So I think the Warriors are done, but Steph's not done.
Yeah, and just a comment. I'm the Draymond hater just because whatever. I recognize his greatness for that team and his role in that team. But I was telling you, as a Pistons fan, we needed some leadership. And we needed like somebody to come in and start punching light skins in the face. I wanted Draymond Green I wanted us to get him. Finish out his career back in his home state, give us leadership for about 3 years. Yeah, he's not starting. No, he's not starting. Come off the bench. I would have loved that. But
it would have been great for Caine.
The Pistons suck. The Lions don't. And that's why we're here.
This is the Lions Main Podcast.